I am a new workout today using one of our newest products called the InfinityBox Plus. Now, many of you have seen photos of this on our social media group and Facebook on the VIP groups with people posting from Amazon. Excuse me, still fighting that voice coming back. But anyhow, I want to show you there are some great features with this product, and I want to show you that first. And then we're going to jump right into a workout total body that you can use the InfinityBox Plus for. If you don't have an InfinityBox Plus, I'm going to teach you how to do the same workout without these products at home, using some other little things that you might have laying around. And if you're already a Lifepro customer, you're already going to have the mini loop bands for majority of you that have the platform or some of our other gadgets and devices. I'm gonna feature again the Horizon Balance Trainer as a way that you can cross use some of these different products. Although again, you don't have to have one or the other. And if you don't have any of the above, then I will be happy to share with you during this workout how you can kind of replicate some of the same results that we are trying to aim for using different products you might have laying around the house, such as paper plates, or like I said, the mini loop bands, or just using your own body weight, and just making sure that you're doing some things correctly. You're going to find in this series of exercises, there'll be products that are definitely Lifepro featured products, and you're going to find products that are just some of my favorite fitness tools. And if you're more interested in the favorite fitness tools, my crew is going to be posting links so that if you have questions about where to find them, everything you can buy on Amazon. They are not Lifepro products. I make absolutely nothing I'm not an affiliate with any of these companies. They're just some of the products that I use with my clients for sports medicine, rehabilitation, and fitness purposes. And I've been using them for several years. So they've just kind of developed my favorites in my wheelhouse, and multitasking with a variety of different things. So feel free to ask questions, reach out if you are interested in seeing something specific. If you already have the InfinityBox Plus and you have questions about how to use it, I'm going to demonstrate a lot of different things. But more importantly, we're going to have fun. We're going to get the new year with a new you started, and we're going to do it all at a pace that is tolerable. So modify as you need to. You're going to see me modifying a lot of different exercises, from extreme beginners to advanced users. And if you are recovering from an injury or you're suffering from aches and pains, I'm going to show you how to modify for those kind of things as well. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce to you the InfinityBox Plus, how you can use it, how certain parts come together, and we'll go through and demonstrate the exercises that go along with that, and you're going to get a great workout in today. So prepare for the burn, because we're about to light you on fire. Here we go. Okay, starting out, this here is the InfinityBox Plus, okay? I'm going to come up and close in person and show this to you, because there are so many moving parts to this thing. But it comes like this, and it comes in a bag. So you can carry this everywhere you go. It folds completely flat, so it's very travel friendly. And on the back side, these push-up handles will fold inside, and it has one of my absolute favorite features in what I use in my gym, is an abdominal wheel. So it will give you the opportunity to work core at the absolute max. You can actually use the abdominal wheel with your legs, depending on how you want to approach it. But anyhow, what I want you to see on the back side here, I'm going to come up and close in person. You're going to see these little holes right here, and these are for these little plugs that you put in to make this a non-slip surface. I personally have not used those, because I either like to use this on a non-slip mat, or I like to use it on the turf that we're actually on right now. So I don't have to take the time to plug all of those little pieces in. And the unfortunate thing with the plugs in place is this does not fold flat if the non-slip plugs are in position. So you have to take them out every time you want to fold this up to store it. So I've just learned to use the included non-mat. It's not a non-slip mat, but it's a real cushy sound dampening mat. So we use that with our whole body vibration platforms. But anyhow, super soft, and you can use this to lay on it in order to keep it from shifting around. But a lot of great little features. You're going to see these little plugs, and these little plugs pop off. And then we have a variety of different resistance bands that will plug onto here, and we'll weave through this pulley here to the other side. Now, on the other side, you're going to see that there are all these different little holes. And you can see it's really light because I'm holding it with one hand. These little holes will position the push-up handles based on what kind of a push-up you're trying to work towards. But there's all different ways that you can use these handles in a variety of different angles, and you're going to see how the angles correlate with the different colors. But you can plug and push however you choose to, but wanted to give you that that visual up front real quick so you can see it. Now, one of my absolute favorite things with this is we are including the ab wheel with a barbell. So you're getting, I think these sell for like a little over $100 for the entire set. Whoops, would help if I got the right end. If you decide that you don't want to use all the other moving parts, just having this steel barbell, let me see here, let me make sure that I've got it going in there just right so it will wind. Okay, hold up here. I'm not screwing it in right. Righty tighty, a little lefty loosey. But anyways, what's really nice with using this, well, hold up here. What's nice is you can actually work with the abdominal wheel that comes with, and once that slides on, and then we screw this through and through, and if I can't get, there we go. Okay, so once we screw that on, and I haven't got it screwed on all the way, this actually rolls, and then you can attach resistance bands on the end, which then attach onto the InfinityBox Plus, and you can do a variety of different exercises with control so that you can work all of those awesome abdominal muscles and core muscles, the deep stabilizers that you're trying to work towards. And all that comes with just, it comes with all of these different moving parts. This in itself makes it worth half of what they're charging you in price. So if you're wanting to do different exercises in your home using resistance bands, just having the carabiner clip-ons here and being able to put the ab wheel in the middle, or use this independently without the ab wheel. So you just take that off and you can just use the barbell as itself. I'll demonstrate that here in just a second. That in itself, by the time you buy the barbell and you buy the ab wheel, you're already in about $50. So you're getting half of it just with the price of the entire InfinityBox platform. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure you see ahead of time, like I said, whether you like the whole setup or not, is up to you. But what makes it really cool is you're getting a tremendous amount of moving parts. So we are giving you a door anchor, so you can do these exercises with the resistance bands without having to anchor it into the box. You can actually shut this in a door, in a closet, and use it that way. We provide you all of the carabiner clips. So they come here in this little bag. You get all these little clip-ons, okay? The barbell is very light. It's maybe, it's 10 pounds or less. It's super light. It's not your typical barbell from the weight room. But what's really nice is we're giving you a couple of different lengths of adjustability on handles. And so you can clip the carabiner onto your handles like such, which then clip onto the ends of these bands. And then you can turn this into its own freestanding exercise without even having to use the box. So, and we provide you with 2 sets of handles, okay? We provide you with 2 ankle straps. So you can use this as an ankle strap, or I'm going to show you how you can strategically use this with your InfinityBox Plus using a totally different type of band that is not inclusive. And again, you're going to find some of my favorite tools that I use on a day-to-day basis with my clients for rehabilitation purposes, for shoulder recovery, a lot of different things. And the ability to use that from a user-friendly standpoint in combination with the box and in combination with all the clips, make it worth the pricing in itself. So you're going to get, again, 2 ankle straps or anchor straps. You're going to get 2 sets of handles that have rubberized texture grips. So they're super rubbery and grippy, and multiple attachments for adjustability. So if you're wanting to make these handles shorter, super easy just to clip in. Here we go. Super easy to clip in from a shorter standpoint. Now, the other thing, if you don't like the quality of these carabiners, these little bitty clips, you can use whatever clips you have at home, or you can upgrade those on your own. but these will get the job done. But if you're wanting something a little heavier duty for whatever reason, all of these parts are interchangeable with things you might already have at home. That's what makes this really, really cool, in my opinion. Not to mention just the whole setup. But we're giving you 2 full-length Bungee resistance bands. I call these Bungee bands because they have the heavy duty resistance band inside, and then we've got this slinky sleeve, this Bungee sleeve that protects it. So if for whatever reason that it snaps and breaks, at some point in the life of these bands that will happen, it doesn't cause you an injury and it doesn't hurt you by the band slapping you. The protective coating actually protects you from the resistance band. So if it's rubbing against your thigh or rubbing against your back, if you're doing certain exercises, you don't feel the resistance band because you're feeling the sleeve. So super, super convenient to have that protection. And then there's a big difference in red versus blue, okay? The blue is much shorter. And so these are used for positions that you are lying down, or what I'm gonna actually show you is how you can use this on your Horizon balance trainer using the clip-in points underneath. Again, with the balance trainer, it comes with the Amber squishy ball from Lifepro, and you can clip in these bands and use it with the Horizon balance trainer behind me in blue and create this total body circuit with just a couple of purchases through Lifepro. And you can find, I know my crew backstage is gonna post, if you're interested in buying the InfinityBox Plus, she'll provide you a link. I don't know if they are on special right now, but you can always use the Amber 10 discount code. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then you're already getting a rock bottom price. But all of our products come with a limited lifetime warranty. So if you have any trouble with things, they'll provide you with feedback and provide you with customer support to get things taken care of so you can continue to use the products at home. So that's how that works. But I want you to pay close attention. We have these loop straps on the end, and these actually plug in to the bottom of the box so that when you're either laying on it, you're kneeling on it, you're sitting on it, you're standing on it, you can do all kinds of really cool tips and tricks for a greater you, total body, or maybe you're wanting to use it for at home for rehab. So if you are recovering from shoulder reconstructive surgery, if you're recovering from total knee, total hip issues, there's a lot of different things that we can do using the bands or working on deep abdominal work so that you can work your way back to the best version of yourself possible. And with our instruction and education and inspiration, you might be able to take some of these exercises that you don't have access to with the InfinityBox at home and use them with items that you already might have at home for a greater you. So hopefully you enjoy this little segment. Again, this was not meant to be a sales pitch, but wanted to at least let you know that it's available because a lot of people have seen posts and they haven't seen that it's actually been launched. I was actually supposed to launch this product a little over a week ago and came down with a lot of congestion and lost my voice and dealing with all the COVID issues. So this is my little tidbit in order to give you a little exposure to what this product is all about and how we can use it for a total body experience. All right. So let's go ahead and cover really quick how these straps attach onto the bottom. This can be a bit tricky. So I want to make sure that you have the demo here in person. Now, the red straps are specifically made for beginners for using for full length, which means you are going to be standing or you're going to be doing stuff overhead from a kneeling position. So these are full length tension bands. And you're going to find on the bottom of this, you're going to see numbers, okay? You're going to see all kinds of numbers. Oops, I've got mine upside down. It might help to help you. There we go. So we have all these different numbers, okay? And in your user manual, when it arrives, you're going to find that there are certain numbers that coordinate best with red and certain numbers that coordinate best with blue. With the red straps, we're going to aim for using number 7, which you're going to see is where the red plug is already positioned, or number 6, which is up high for your basic beginners. If you're wanting to be more advanced, you can choose a different position to peg this clip in, but this clip is what holds the end of this band in place so that you can work it from the other end. If you are wanting more of a, if you're wanting more of an advanced and you're wanting to go with the blue specifically, the blue bands are specifically used for a sitting down or lying down position. So you're going to use those on position number 8 for beginner level or position number 7 for advanced level. So 8 is in that top corner and bottom corner. So diagonal, whoops, diagonal here. Okay, I'm thinking backwards here. And so the number 8 is for beginner, and number 7, using the blue band, is going to be more for advanced. And that's basically by the angulation that you plug it into the bottom is going to change the level of intensity and resistance on the band. So if you're wanting a more intense workout, instead of figuring out how to shorten the band, we would just plug it into a different hole, because it's going to shorten the intensity by how much pulling action you're getting based on the angle on the bottom. Okay, I know that's really confusing, but just trust me on this, it's awesome. Okay, so that's how we're going to start this. But I want to show you how to plug and push. We're going to actually be running, this is really important, when we are bringing this band through, we want it to be on top here. So it's going to be on top of the handle. We don't want it rubbing here on the bottom, okay? We want it to be able to glide on this pulley so that when you're pulling in different directions, it works better for you. These little things come right out, nice and easy, okay? And you're going to take this, we're going to just start this with number 7 on the bottom, which is where it comes positioned from the start. And it just loops around. And then you just got to make sure that you've got it cranked in there really tight, okay? So it's just hanging in there, okay? It's anchored in there. And then when we turn this over and we position it on the floor, whether we're standing on it or we're kneeling on it, now we've got the band, okay? And the band is anchored to the bottom. But what's really important is that you make sure when you're using the band that it's working with the pulley. So in other words, we don't want it to be coming through the black, because the black can provide a sharp edge. And what happens with a sharp edge and a resistance band? A little clip or a little fray. So we don't want no fraying. We want to make sure that we're using the wheelie system in order to soft cushion that band, okay? So that's how you do that. And you can do that running the full length of the bottom. There's so many different ways we can do this. But here's what I want to start with, okay? I want to start with that, with showing you how that works. The other thing that I'm going to go through really quick is we've got these special pieces right here, okay? These are like an ankle band, and they can cuff around your ankle, but I'm going to show you a little Amber hack here for you, because I do this stuff all the time. And when I saw the unit and thought of my favorite exercises and how my clients could use this at home without having to drill into their walls or anchor stuff to their tables and move the furniture across the floor, I thought, man, this is perfect. So what we're going to do is here, this part right here, we're actually going to strap this to this wheel, okay? And there are not directions in the booklet on doing this, because this is totally an Amber hack at the moment. Totally made this up. But we're going to do this right here. And what it does is it provides you an anchor point on the top of the unit. How cool is that? So if you have trouble with things plugging in down here on the bottom and you're just fed up with it, then anchor here on the top. But again, this is not something shown in the booklet. This is an Amber hack, okay? Now, why it's important is because if you are suffering from like an injury in your shoulders, these bands, there's a link that we've included. These bands are not Lifepro bands, but they're really good for a variety of different exercise, and they come pre-installed with these little cuffs on the end. So what we can do, if we're trying to do these exercises, we can actually anchor into the floor, and from here, we can do front raises overhead. We can do all kinds of different things. We can attach these to our ankles and do different things with our ankles. But one thing I want you to remember, it doesn't matter which set of bands you use. What I want you to remember is you can actually anchor all of these into, let me find my clips. We can anchor all these in together. And they don't show this on the bottom because, again, it's my creative imagination coming to life, which I'm really good at. One of my secret talents. Okay, so we do that, and then we attach the strap to the handle. And I'm gonna bring this up close so you can see it. So now we have our handle on top, all right? And you're not gonna be able to see the InfinityBox as well, but you can see how I've got the handle right here, okay? And we can push overhead, all right? So that's all anchored to the InfinityBox. And the InfinityBox, you can actually stand on it. So there's a multitude of different things you can do that are not in the manual, and you just have to kind of get creative. But the really cool thing is it's so versatile as to how you can use it, and you can take it anywhere and everywhere you want to go. Okay. They are not B3 bands. I don't have my B3 bands on right now. You'll find me wearing those again tomorrow. There's just so much information to cover today that I didn't want to work with the bands on until I knew we had an exact workout. So if you're interested in the B3 bands, you can contact me directly about that. And I will share with you how those kind of come into place. These are typically called Buckwild bands or J bands. And they're used for a lot of softball, baseball players, a lot of rotator cuff, shoulder work. So a lot of different things you can do. Now, let me show you something else. This band by itself, if you decide, I really don't want to use the InfinityBox, I just want to be able to use the bands, then we can attach this either to the barbell or we can attach it to another handle. And then check this out. We can do a variety of different exercises by just standing on this band, which requires a little bit of balance, but it can be done. So we can do this, okay? And spread, there we go. So we can do curls, okay? We can go really, really wide and do more upright rows with a bent over position. There's a lot of different things we can do. The other thing that's really cool with the Horizon Balance Trainer, okay? We can lay this down, position the Horizon Balance Trainer over the top, have a seat, and now we've got things we can do overhead. Now, again, because you're crunching that band, you don't get the same amount of resistance. But again, what makes this one really cool is it comes with the blue bands. So let me show you this, because this is awesome. And it does take a little time to transition when you're switching out bands and exercises. But, you know, I think we all could use rest from time to time when we're trying to figure certain things out, okay? So on here, these are the shorties. We're gonna clip this in and then check this out. This is something you might have not noticed when I shared with you about the Horizon Balance Trainer a long time ago, but on the end of the Horizon Balance Trainer, we can clip in there, and you can't do this on our competitor items. This is exclusive to Lifepro. So, okay, I'm not quite sure why it's not working, but if it's already discounted at the lowest price that they'll take it, that's why that code might not be working. So if it doesn't work, you're already getting the best price they have running, and they don't stack codes. So unfortunately, that's how that works. Okay, so anyhow, now we've got this attached to one side, and if we want to change up the resistance levels, okay, we can sit on our Horizon Balance Trainer, and as you can see, this is a really long strap. So here's the beauty of this. Check this out. So then we would leave that attached to the resistance band, but we shorten the strap of the handle. And so now we can do overhead press. We can do side leaning. Oh, those abs are gonna feel this one today. For those of you that did my workout yesterday, how sore are those abs? And at the same time, we're doing that tricep extension. So there's so many different things you can do in combination with all these different products. But for today's workout, I'm just gonna take you through all the major muscle groups, and we're just gonna play around with it. You can also go into a kneeling position on the Horizon. So if you don't wanna sit on it and you wanna do some overhead work or some curls, you can do that from a kneeling position. So much versatility with all of these products, which makes it awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Let me get things somewhat sequenced out exactly the same as the other side. This is the only disadvantage with some of these things. So what I would highly recommend is to keep you from having to have some downtime. You can buy a bunch of these clips, these Carabiner clips, for next to nothing, like $1 a piece, and that's for a heavy duty setup. You can use that in order to get the best out of your product. That is how that goes. All right, let me disconnect this one. This is what kind of takes some time. So my apologies in advance for working on switching this up. And what I would highly recommend is just have a workout handy that incorporates the same stuff, the same equipment, so that you're not having to switch everything out. That's how I like to roll, so I'm not having to think about it, and I'm not having to take time to counter the attachments. Just do whatever you can to clip everything in and see how many different things you can do with the same stuff. And you can create little circuits, little stations. So that's kind of what I'm going to show you how to do here today, is just let's switch up some different stations and showing you how that you can make this all one working routine. There we go. Okay, and so now our balance trainer is hooked up and ready to go for an assortment of different exercises. So there's that. All right, let me see what kind of questions we got here. Some things I want you to make sure you have handy, if you happen to have them at home to have fun with this, is I want you to have your mini loop bands. If you have any one of our other devices, whether it's a foam roller or whether it's a vibration platform of any sort, we have the mini loop bands, and I use these for everything. I have used these for probably 15 years before Lifepro even came out with their own, and I go through so many of these with clients. It's like one of the greatest things you can have at home. The bands will not be too long at 4'11". I'm 5'4", 5-ish, and they can be adjusted based on how you plug and poke them into the box, or how you adjust your handles. So the length of the straps can be adjusted by the extra accessory attachments included. If you have paper plates, these are gliders, and again, we provided a link for those. But you can use paper plates. I use paper plates with people all the time that don't have these at home, but have yourself some paper plates handy. And if you have your Amber squishy ball at home, whether it's a Lifepro ball or whether it's one that I've given you reference to in the past, it's always handy to have these 3 things around, because I did a year worth of workouts just using these 3 pieces of equipment and never repeated a workout. So many different things we can do. So let's get on with this. Now, let's talk about proper form. All right, I'm going to bring the InfinityBox. So we've got this ready to go. The InfinityBox does have a pad on top that makes it okay to kneel on, but me personally, I like to have extra cushion. So I have my extra mats here that I've made myself, so that I have good support underneath of my kneecaps, because the kneecaps are ultra sensitive. And I'm going to go ahead and attach the wheel. The ever so tricky process of screwing this all in together when you have one of these little extra accessories. Now, I know Lifepro makes one of these for the Rumble X bar, or they make the Rumble X bar, and it is, there we go. We just needed a little bit of a lubricant in there to make that spin. So if you have trouble with getting it to attach, you might need a lubricant at home. Excuse me. All right, so there's your abdominal wheel. Okay, so, and this rolls, but again, if you have some lubricant in there, some silicone lubricant or WD-40, make it roll a lot easier. But guess what? That means you have to use your body, your strength to get it to roll out and to bring it back, which makes it a little bit more interesting when it comes to the toning side of things. So let me show you this. This is way cool. We're just going to start from a kneeling position here. We're going to position our hands on the bar. And all I want you to do, what is really important on this when you're doing these, some people I've seen do these a little different, but what I want you to really focus on is keeping your toes in contact with the ground. As soon as you lose contact with the ground, core energy has then been diverted. And so the definition, Amber's definition of core, is anything that transitions energy between your fingertips and your toes. So if your feet are in contact with the ground somehow or another, that means the energy is free flowing and it's requiring all of the muscles in that pathway to actively fire and work. Once your feet come off the ground, then everything from your knees to your shoulders has to work. And so if you want a total body experience and you really want to work on defining this midline, we want to make sure we keep our feet pushed into the ground as hard as we can and not lifting our toes up. That might mean that you not roll out as far as what you might be able to roll out if you picked your feet up. Totally different experience. But the other thing that can happen when you roll out and you take your feet off the ground is we get a little saddleback action. And saddleback, that's not meant to happen. Our spine is not meant to move in that direction. So what I want you to focus on, if you are at home and if you have paper plates or you have an ab bar or you have, different tools and tricks, I'm going to show you how to do this, whether you have our stuff at home or not, because this is not meant to be a sales pitch. It's meant to give you some tricks and some tips and tools to use at home to be the better version of you possible, one step at a time, one day at a time as a team. So what I want you to think about is we're going to keep those toes in contact with the ground. We're just going to roll out a little bit, and then we're going to pull right on back, okay? We're going to roll out just a little bit, and then we're going to roll right on back. Now, what I have not done, I have not attached the blue bands to the barbell. So this is one of the other cool features. If I wanted to make it harder on myself to roll out, but easier to come back in, I would attach the blue bands to each end to the InfinityBox, which keeps me grounded and gives me extra support, but it also adds extra resistance. Okay, so don't worry. If you're trying to gather all these different supplies or you don't have time to watch this right now, we're gonna post this so you can watch it again and again and again. And so we were talking about this from yesterday's workout. If you go to the Facebook page, you're gonna find a new folder in our Facebook page with videos with Amber workouts. So if you're looking for workouts with Amber for now going forward or in the past, you can find all of my exclusive workouts through Lifepro in that folder for ease of convenience so that you don't have to go back and search all the many videos that we've posted over the last several years, okay? So yes, we are gonna be able to repeat this later. And if you love it, you're gonna get to do it over and over and over and over again. So we're gonna roll out, keeping those toes down, squeezing those butt cheeks as you pull on back. And I want you to think about tucking your belly button inward as you pull back so that we're not using that low back, okay? Rolling out and rolling in. Now, if you don't want to take the time to use the ab wheel, this is when the paper plates come in handy. So we take the paper plates, okay? And you can do one at a time if you really want to. But we're going to slide out and we're going to slide in. Slide out and slide in. If you want to do both hands on a paper plate, slide out and slide in. So again, this is essentially the exact same thing as having the barbell with a wheel, but you don't have it yet. So this is how we can do the workout together. All right. Once your feet come up off the floor, look at what happens. My butt sags and we get a little saddleback where you can mount up and go for a ride. But the problem is our lumbar spine is not meant to go for a ride like a horse or a mule. So we don't want to have a saddleback. We want to make sure that we are using all of our energy and not lowering our back to the ground, okay? So think about getting those butt muscles super tight, squeeze Benjamin Franklin $100 bill with your butt crack and pull back in. All right, squeeze your booty, slide out, slide back in. And again, we're keeping our feet grounded that whole time. Now, if you have shoulder challenges, let me show you what's really cool with this. And again, you don't have to have the InfinityBox to do this, but it just makes it kind of fun to have it all together. If you have your mini loop band, okay, we can go into a hands and knees position. Whoops, you're not able to see me there. Let me slide this back a little. There we go. So we go hands and knees, and you can just tap out, okay? So we're just tapping out those hands with the mini loop band that comes with all the other devices that we sell. Other hand, okay? And then we can work out, in, out, in. Now, here is the big bonus, okay? You put the band around your wrist, keep tension on it, okay? So you're fighting the band here, and you're working the abs here. Whoops, that does not work. Scratch that idea. That does not work because it gets caught with the wheel. My bad, totally didn't think of that problem. You can do that with the paper plates. So you can go straps with plates, and you can slide out, and you can pull back in. and we can slide out, and we can pull back in. So I want to make sure you understand some of these different exercises that you can use with other accessories outside of the InfinityBox, so that you don't have to worry about switching up all of these little attachments all the time in order to keep the workout going, okay? All right, now, so there's that. Let's talk about push-up position, because this is always something close to my heart, and I think so many people do this so wrong. So I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways that you can get this right. And again, you can go push-up position front to back. We can go side to side. We can go on an angle. There are so many different attachment points in which you can use the push-up handles and the InfinityBox, okay? Could you move the bands halfway up your form? Yes, you sure can. You can definitely do that, okay? All right, so here we go. So if you are wanting to work more on angles, we can work with our hands closer to angles. And a lot of that is going to depend on which muscles we're wanting to tone, all right? Now, we're giving you a little bit of a cheat sheet. So here's what I want you to see on here. You're going to see Muscle Man is featured up there in different colors, okay? Muscle Man in different colors. There we go. And you're going to find that if you coordinate your handles with the color of the Muscle Man, that's the exercises that are working those muscles, and vice versa. So we're giving you a little bit of a cheat sheet here as to knowing which angles you're going to be able to isolate those certain muscles by the color code that correlates with Little Man and the different colors on the top of the InfinityBox. Pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about push-up position. So we go here side to side. If we want to go, like I said, we can go on an angle, we can go straight up and down, we can go across, so many different ways, whichever way you're wanting to work it. For demonstration purposes, I'm gonna run the handles up and down. And what I want you to do, let's just start from a kneeling position, because I know we have a lot of age groups that are watching all of this, but I would say majority of you probably do not like doing push-ups. In fact, they probably scare the bejesus out of you. So I'm gonna give you some different tips and tricks on how to do push-ups without having to do a full-on push-up to strain yourself, so that you're not scared to death to try them. And we can work on getting you stronger at the weakest point of the push-up, so that you can then go full-on plank or full-on push-up when you feel like you're ready to try it. But at least we won't alienate you from this exercise because you're like, oh, I don't want to do these because these are so not fun. Okay, so most important thing is keeping those toes down and back. And we're gonna keep that booty nice and tight. And from here, all I want you to do is drop down, and I want you to be able to feel your elbows to your sides. So in other words, we don't want the elbows to go out to the sides on this one. We want to keep those elbows rubbing our sides and keeping our head up as we come back through. What happens when we look down is the shoulders drop. So we want to make sure we're keeping our head and our face looking straight ahead, which keeps the rest of the line posture correct in doing this exercise. And again, we are not taking the feet from the floor, because when we do that, we saddle in the back. So drive those toes into the ground, heels pushing away from your body, keeping your head and chest high. Slowly drop until you can feel your arms touching your sides, and then push right back up. All right? That is a modified push-up, and I would so much rather you do that than do a push-up totally wrong. Okay? All right, now to make this one notch harder, we're gonna go here into driving those heels away from you. So we're kneeling, okay? Booty is nice and tight, pushing the heels away from you. Now from here, slowly lower your weight to the ground until you find the InfinityBox. Don't be afraid to lay down on it and put those knees down to push back up, because it's the fastest way to get strong to doing a push-up without destructing your joints. So I teach this a lot, especially to high school kids who think they're doing them right, who are doing them totally wrong. So again, we're gonna drive those heels away from our body. We're pushing the box away from us, pushing, pushing, pushing as we lower our chest to the ground. Go ahead and lay down on the box, drop the knees down, push back up, and then we reload it, okay? That's another way that you can do it. Now, I want to show you, if you don't want to decelerate, we call it eccentric loading. If you don't want to lower yourself to the infinity box, but you want to work the abs and you want to work the legs, this is where that paper plate comes in handy, because what we will do is we're gonna go one at a time, and this is gonna be underneath of our foot, like such, okay? And so we're gonna start with our head and chest high. If you wanna do the push, the pop up, and then rise up, we can do several slide ins, okay? And notice that my butt's not dropping to the inside. Although if that's what you wanna do in order to make this exercise a little bit more interesting, I would so much rather you do it that way than to not try it at all. So don't worry about if you're doing it right or wrong. Just give it a try and don't be afraid to fail, because you got to fail forward in order to get stronger. So we're going to go, and if you don't want to do the push-up, we're going to drive the heels away, just barely pick up those knees. So we've got a flat top on our back, slide out, slide in. Let's do that 5 times. 3, 4, 5, and then we lower, and then we can arch our back in order to give a little bit of a stretch before we pick it up and drive it again. So if you're one who has a lot of low back pain when you're trying this because you're weak, it is okay to be weak. That's why we're here for you. And you don't have to hire a personal trainer to teach you some of these things at home. You just have to know the basic fundamentals and how to do them without hurting yourself through proper technique. So that's one thing you can do. And again, with the infinity box, if we angulate these handles into a different direction, okay, we can just stay right here. We can work on bringing this leg up high and bringing back under, and we can aim for the other side. So talk about working some flexibility, mobility of the hips, and stabilizing the abs. Woo, jollies. It is a good one, okay? A lot of different variability there, but that's one of the things I wanted to make sure and share with you. Okay, so that's push-up demonstration. The other thing that you can do is we can go handles up and down. We can have a seat on top of the infinity box. And from here, we lift our booty and have a seat back down. Push and lock out, lift the booty, come back down. Now here is where the squishy ball comes into position, because you all know I love my squishy balls. Grab that squishy ball, put it in between the knees, and I want you to squeeze it as if you're gonna pop it. So we're here, we're gonna lift our booty up, we're gonna drop down to the ground, we're gonna squeeze and open up tall and lengthen those arms out, okay? So tabletop here, drop down, bend the elbows, push up, squeeze that ball tight as you come up flat. Yes, that right there is total body, and it will light your butt and your arms and your abs on fire, totally taking you to a different level. Now, let's talk about some other things you can do here. As you can see, we have the ability to lay on this thing. And so if you feel an edge here that you don't like, we can take this mat and fold it up long this way, so that when we're laying across this and trying to use the barbell, that we don't have this drop off here. So we're gonna have to do a quick adjustment here, but quick is good. We're gonna pop this out, screw this back together. And like I said, just having the barbell is really quite handy. But I would say this sucker doesn't weigh much more than 5 pounds, really. It is super, super light. I can hold it with just 2 fingers and spin it around, so it's definitely not that heavy. Okay, so from here, the other thing, like I showed you before, is we can take those straps and strap them down to the actual plyo box, or the infinity box on top. But what we're going to do in this scenario is we're going to take these red straps and attach it to the bottom. And again, it just loops under to, and if we want to make this harder, we just move these positioners to a different number, okay? And so in this scenario, because I don't want to switch out the bands to the blue, I'm just going to make sure I tighten this up even further across. So instead of putting it at a 7, I'm actually going to put it where the blue should be. So it would be with a 3, okay? Yes, I definitely think we should be starting an entry-level, get off your couch kind of group. Totally, there you go. There you go, Lauren. We've been thinking about this. Get off the couch group for entry-level beginners so that they can at least get the muscles firing. Write that down. Okay, now we're gonna run this through the handle so it's running alongside of the red pulley. I'm gonna do that for the other side. So this is, again, this is kind of the inconvenience of the Infinity Box. It can take a little bit of time to switch things around, which guess what? That means you get to get a drink break. And part of the relief when you are learning to start moving a little bit better is taking frequent breaks if you need to, because it is so much better to take a break and recover than it is to make yourself miserable and not do anything and just keep on going and then you dread it. So we would much rather you take a break and get it right in your mind than to just keep pushing through because you're miserable and you just want to be done. All right. Okay. So we got those connected on the bottom. Boom. And that's how quick and easy that was. Now, if you can see here, I can do this a couple of different ways. I can lay on my back and we could actually go crossover. Okay. So we can open up to the side. Okay. Yes, the band is crossing my body, but if we're wanting to do an opener, we can take it across the side. Okay. But what I want you to think about doing is we're actually going to sit on the box and we're going to push this overhead. Now, you're going to have the extra clips for this. So I'm going to unclip. Like I said, if you can order yourself a bunch of extra clips, it will save you a tremendous amount of time in trying to clip these things in. In fact, hang tight with me. I'm just going to go get my other set of clips. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We got lots and lots of clips here ready to go. So this is the difference in the little clips versus the dollar clips. The dollar clips are the way to go. Okay, so here we go. We are going to clip in to the handle, and then we're going to clip into the barbell. Boom, just like that. So convenient. And you don't have to fiddle-faddle with making sure the clips are big enough. All right, there we go. Boom, just like that. Now, from here, a couple of different things we can do. We can sit on top of the box, and we can push overhead. And as we're leaning back, we actually get a little more resistance, okay? Now, these are really long for what we're wanting to do, so guess what we do? In order to adjust, super easy to pivot and make this harder. Instead of laying or sitting, we go to a kneeling. And then now we can take that bar overhead in front of and behind. So much versatility by just changing your body's position. So you don't have to shorten the straps. You just have to lengthen or shorten you somehow, which is not hard to do in using your creative imagination. So the sky is the limit. So we went from sitting and creating resistance for abs to, remember, keep those toes driving down into the floor, pushing overhead, opening up those ribs, okay? And we can go behind the head, back front, to chest, back behind. Now, what I don't want to see you do, when you take that bar behind your head, I don't want to see a turkey neck going forward because that's not good on your cervical spine. So we are here. If you want to look up, it's so much better to look up than it is to look forward and down because we already have that problem in our society. So that's one easy way that you can do this. If I take my leg forward, now we are working it from a different angle, but just know that the board might come up off the ground. And so that's why you really have to be in position. Now, from here, we are in a standing position. Holy moly, check that out. Okay, so we're here, drop into a squat like it's hot, press it up over, okay? So I don't even have to move the bar off of my shoulders. I have to maintain contact with my body through my hands. And if you want to hold the bar up off your shoulders, wow, oh wow, is that an arm workout? So just stabilizing it here and sitting down on the toilet and rising back tall until you feel your butt cheeks pucker up tight, okay? And when I say your butt cheeks, I want to feel, this is when we gotta kind of laugh at ourselves. I want to feel you clenching that $100 bill, or I want you to create as many dots in your booty as you possibly can to be able to connect the dots. Imagine using your imagination. You get what I'm saying? Like cellulite, you know, you want to create as many dimples as you can because you're squeezing so tight. It's a great thing. All right, so here we go, pushing overhead with an overhead press to a chest press, squat, explosively push overhead, squat, explode overhead, and that is way harder than it looks. So do be careful when you do that. Okay, and don't forget to breathe. Breathing is super, super important. All right, so that is how you use the barbell with the bands. Again, if we want to change the angle in how this is working, we can go on a diagonal. So if I take this onto a diagonal, I can even take it across on the opposite side. Whoops, that's not gonna work. If we work it on a diagonal, it changes how long the band actually is. So we can work it from that way as well. And I'll show you what I mean by that here. Let me get these connected. There we go. All right. So as I walk forward here with you with this barbell, okay, so you see how I've got them at the very bottom. So when I go to stand on it, it's going to create a diagonal effect, which is going to make it way harder. Okay, so we've got, make sure that that is secured and locked in. Yes, we're good to go there. And so now we can go, and that is much harder. Okay, so watch here. If we don't want to go overhead, we can do reverse curls, and we can work our forearms and our arms all on together, okay? So reverse curl, okay? And if you want to wrap your thumbs or keep your arms flat, either way works, but so much versatility. Okay, now from here, goodness, so many opportunities and so many options. Let's talk about what we can do from an abdominal standpoint. So if we go sitting on the ground, put the red bands around your toes and really work on keeping those toes far apart, really harder than it looks. Okay, getting the bar back over top here. Okay, now from here, make sure that you've got some extra padding behind your back. This is a killer exercise, by the way. It looks way harder than it is. Actually, I didn't say that right. This is harder than it actually looks. That's what I meant to say. So we got the barbell overhead. We are keeping those legs and the band tight, okay? And we're leaning back as we press the band overhead, and at the same time, band comes up, and we lift tall. Yes, it is harder. It is harder in action, trust me. I make it look very easy. Taking it back nice and slow, nice and controlled, pushing the band overhead or the bar overhead. You can bring that bar back up and then lift tall and lengthen out. Now, to make this a notch harder, we take those legs straight, we slowly go long, pushing that bar away, getting as long as we can because we're creating tension on the entire body, and then we're lifting tall as we push overhead. Whew, okay. Yeah, so we got to get a drink of water because that's just killer. All right. Now, there are so many different things that we can do from workout standpoint. We can use this for biceps, triceps, shoulders, back, mid-back. And again, a lot of the things that we can do with this don't even require the box. You can plug some of this stuff into a wall at home using the door anchor. We can do rows. You can do a seated row by using the barbell. So many things. Oh, this is so fun. I love watching your comments. So keep those coming. You can do bench press. You can do incline press, overhead press, tricep extensions. We can do cross crawl pattern type stuff. A lot of leg work. If you wanted to attach the cuffs to your ankle, you can actually do what is called a donkey kick. I am not crazy about donkey kicks with resistance. I would so much rather teach how to do it right first because it's an easy way to hurt the low back. So I want to show you how I teach that first. And let's make sure that you've got the ability to fire your booty, because if you can't fire your booty properly, while engaging your back muscles properly. There's no reason to try a donkey kick and you overuse muscles that shouldn't be used. And then we've got a bigger problem because now you're calling to find out which platform to buy because you've hurt yourself. There we go. Okay, so let me show this very basic because I teach this for individuals who have very tight hip flexors in the front or are trying to tone out the abs. We're gonna lay flat on the floor, okay? And from here, we're gonna kind of let our upper body relax, but we're gonna bend one foot and one knee, okay? And when I do these exercises, I like to think not pointed toe, but foot flat, okay? Because how often are we ever walking on the tippies of our toes? We're always walking with our feet more in a flat position as we're grounding. So foot flat. Now squeeze Benjamin Franklin, $100 bill, in your butt crack and push your foot flat to touch the ceiling. And then slowly come back down and then relax. And then we can go to the other side. So knee is bent, foot is flat, squeeze Benjamin with your butt cheeks, push the foot into the ceiling to touch the ceiling flat, leaving your footprint on the ceiling, slowly come back down and relax. Now, if you have tight hip flexors or if you've been suffering of some back pain, I'm going to show you how to deliver this into a totally different direction with stretching and mobility. And I got to slide back just a little bit. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but our bodies are actually meant to move this way. And I think some people are really afraid to move like this, and so they just give up in thinking about it, when really it's one of the best kept secrets to hip pain, hip and low back pain. So we are going to go face down. We're going to bend the knee, foot flat, squeeze your butt cheeks by squeezing Benjamin in your butt, push the foot into the ceiling, and let it roll over your body. And don't be afraid to let the rest of your body roll with it. So in other words, you don't have to keep your hands on the ground, but let's make sure that we're opening up that hip and getting that really good stretch, okay? Coming back around and then relax, okay? Bend the knee, foot flat into the ceiling, take it across the body as you're looking away and really feeling that stretch here in the front, but we're still firing that butt cheek. Here's a little secret for you. It's the laws of reciprocal inhibition, okay? So if you are firing your booty muscle, then that means the hip flexor muscle is lengthening automatically. You don't even have to try and stretch it. If you squeeze your butt cheeks, the front automatically gets longer. So it's a great stretch. But here's what most people don't understand. This hip flexor muscle contours into the most powerful muscle in the body, referred to as the iliopsoas. And the iliopsoas actually originates up here in your lumbar spine, attaching L1 through L5 in a deep abdominal stabilizer. Our organs sit right on top of it. Our diaphragm, it fuses into the diaphragm, which looks like an umbrella, into the rib cage, and drives through the pelvic floor and attaches right here on the inside of your thigh bone, okay? So if you're having low back pain, guess why? Because when we sit for a long period of time and these muscles attach right here on the inside and we go to lengthen out, our body's like, whoop, nope, not going there. So it's an easy way to stretch out this deep hip flexor muscle and stable spinal stabilizer. It opens this up, which then takes the pressure off of your lumbar spine. So if you are suffering from a disc bulge or low back spine pain or just aches and pains off to the side, this is one of your go-to exercises for lengthening all of this out, because it's not the thighs that are the problem. It's the core, all right? So this is automatically opening that line up by making sure that you're firing your butt cheeks. So imagine Benjamin Franklin, $100 bill. I'm handing it to you imaginary. Stick it in your butt crack, squeeze it tight so nobody can slip it out. And that is activating your booty, which means all of this is automatically lengthening. So it's a win, right? We're tightening our butt cheeks and strengthening our butt cheeks and fixing our low back at the same time. Win-win. All right. So, okay, we're going to bend the knee, footprint into the ceiling, take it across. Yep. And you're going to feel really awkward. If you can only get to here, that is quite all right. I'd much rather you go here than you force it. Okay. And at some point, you're going to get better and better and better with practice. So bend the knee, drive the foot up, take it across. Now, if you cannot do that, there is absolutely no reason to try a donkey kick because you are bound and determined to hurt yourself. So a donkey kick, okay, we go hands in knees position, and from here, you're gonna take that foot and try and put the print into the ceiling, and then you're gonna come back down, okay? Bend the knee, foot flat into the ceiling, come on back down. Now, what's really important that I see a lot of errors in this is when we drive the foot into the ceiling, a lot of people will open up the hip. So you're no longer really firing that deep butt cheek, okay? You can open up, yes, and get a fire hydrant in there, but when we are adding resistance to that, guess what happens? The low back has to work way harder, and the low back shouldn't be working hard. It should be stabilizing. So we don't want to shorten those muscles because chances are likely from the amount of sitting we do on a daily basis with everything going on in the world, our back muscles are already too short. So we have to open them up. But what donkey kicks do is they actually strengthen the hamstrings and the butt cheek. So depends on what you're wanting to use it for. Okay, let me see what we got going here. May I suggest here to feature those exercise equipments that you are using on every live workout, particularly those? Yes, absolutely. And that's what we're doing today. So again, I didn't want it to be more of a sales pitch, but I wanted you to be able to see the user ability and the versatility. If you're trying to save yourself, I know a lot of people, I have a gym. Like I'm sitting in my gym right now. This is next door to my house. We put a lot of money into this gym, and we've had 10 people walk through the door in about 6 months because COVID scares the crap out of people, and I get it. So if you're trying to find things to do at home so that you don't have to go to the gym and worry about the germs and contamination and spreading, and don't be around other people and don't want to deal with sweat, and maybe you don't even want people to see you because you're ashamed of how you look, because you're not proud to look at yourself in the mirror. So why on earth would I want to go to the gym so others can see me in this condition? Or you're just scared to death because the gym is intimidating and you don't even know what to do. The whole point of these live videos is to show you how you can use all of our different products at home for the convenience of getting better in life, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. We're here to guide you, and you can do that without having to hire a personal trainer, which costs a lot of money in a time when we don't have a lot of money. So you can take that money and put it towards an InfinityBox Plus or towards the Horizon Balance Trainer or towards a vibration platform, whatever it is that you're looking for. And then we can take you through step by step how to do these different exercises properly, and how you use them on different pieces of equipment changes which muscles you're working to. My business name is Kivik Kinetic Solutions for the sole reason of having movement with purpose and having endless possibilities behind your movements. But we want to make sure that our movements are safe and they are realistic, and that we aren't wasting our time, because there's a lot of things that you can do that will waste your time when you can do something that takes care of a lot of things all at once, and you feel better and you're more likely to go back after it. I think one of the biggest things that people are intimidated with when it comes to exercising is they don't want to put any time into it. And so if you just take 10 or 15 minutes a day, 10 or 15 minutes a day will go a long way. You don't have to do 30 minutes or an hour, but some people feel if you go to the gym and you're seen by so many other people, why on earth would they come in and do a 10-minute workout and leave like they're wasting their time? No, you're not, because you're moving, and movement is vitality. Movement is what keeps us alive. When we stop moving and we stay sitting or stay lying all the time is when our body stops metabolizing and when we start to die. So let's make sure, even if we're giving 10 minutes a day to trying some of these Amber exercises, whether it's using the little mini loop bands or using the squishy ball or just standing, just get on your platform if you have one. You don't have to do exercises. You just have to stand on it. It already activates 90% of your muscles to fire for you so that you don't have to do it. It's like a magic machine. That's how I came across it. My body was not going to allow me to fire because I had come back from a traumatic surgery, and my body just said, nope, not going there. And I had to find a way to get moving again. And so getting on the platform jump-started everything for me like a magic machine. So that's how I got involved several years ago. And here we are again today, and I'm feeling my best ever. So, and we just get better each step of the way, and the best is yet to come. So if there's something that you want to learn, I've covered a lot of different exercises here. If there is something that you're wanting to learn, make sure and post it, because we're going to start, we're trying to figure out which workout to do next week for all of you. So if you want to give me feedback. Do you want to learn more about the Horizon Balance Trainer? Do you want to learn more about the InfinityBox? Are you wanting to learn more about how to do stuff on the vibration platform? Maybe you want to use one of our bikes in order to do some intensity, like high interval intensity, not quite Peloton, but doing some high intensity interval programs at home. I know we've got some programs coming for that. But give us some feedback. What can we do to serve you better? And what would you like to hear from Amber or Debbie or from Roseanne? Because we're all here as experts in the fitness wellness world, and we want to make sure that you are getting the most out of all your products and that you're getting the best version of yourself kind of out there. So make sure and post what it is you'd like to hear from us so that we can bring it to you next week, because we're scheduling those videos for next week and we're trying to figure out exactly what you would like to hear, because I can teach this stuff all day, every day and have a blast because I love doing this stuff. We just want to make sure it's practical for you. Movement with purpose and endless possibilities, right? So going back to the balance trainer, again, we can get really creative here. Now these straps are somewhat long for me, okay? And so what we can do, boom, we go to a kneeling position, and now now it's really tough. Now we're really driving those abs home. So leaning and pushing while the Horizon is offsetting the pressure on my knees. So isn't that awesome? That is way harder. Hello, Lifepro. Yes. Okay. Now, another thing that we can do is we can go one hand up, just bend the hand up, and then push away. This is way harder than it looks. So I'm going to leave it at that. We can go kneeling with one foot into a kneeling lunge, and we can press overhead to whatever your comfort zone is. If you have seen me wearing the B3 bands, you add those in there, and we only have to do 25% of the same resistance, because that's what blood flow resistance does. It makes basic resistance way harder and takes the strain off of your joints, off of your body, and it shortens your workout to about 15 minutes versus 45 minutes to an hour for the same outcome. Again, I don't want to promote those right here, right now, but if you have questions about how to use those, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And they provided the contact information for you. So, I am getting tired. So, a lot of things we can do with the balance trainer. The other thing that I have not shown you, and this can get a little complex, we can get on top of the balance trainer and just do bicep curls. So this is another option. Okay, we can get into a reverse standing lunge and do bicep curls. Okay, we can get to where the platform is turned over to the other side. This is where it gets kind of crazy, but Amber likes crazy from time to time. And we stand on it, and then we can curl and counterbalance at the same time. This is not a beginner's exercise though. This is an advanced. So if you've never stood on a balance trainer before, this is not your first go-to, but we can teeter-totter side to side and curl at the same time. Oh, the lolly, crazy awesome. Hey, if you don't want to take those handles off, but you want to shorten the resistance bands, just bend forward, grab and pull. That's one of the awesome things about having the sleeve over the rubber band, is you don't have to shorten the straps and put on a different attachment. Use it exactly as you already see it. And the same thing goes if we're kneeling. Okay, if we're kneeling or we're sitting and I want to do some rowing type stuff, okay, I can get into a rowing position. So knees and feet are up, and I can hold the band while I'm dropping my knees and my feet to the floor. Hello, Lifepro. My abdominals are on fire. My arms are spasming, and this is really, really hard to do. I totally just made that up. That's the beauty of all of this. You can just throw in whatever curveball you want to whenever. Okay, now, how many are still with me here? If we want to go through and do a true live workout, let's say 6 exercises to fatigue, and we repeat them like twice through, we're talking about at least 20 to 30 minutes from here. If you would like to see that, we can do that now, or we can schedule that to do that another day next week, where you don't have the intro of all of the essentials and the tips and tricks. You've already watched it here. you can come back to us next week and just watch the actual workout. I'm reading here a post. I appreciate so much here all the extra education tips, giving here the importance of diaphragmatic breathing and the deep core stabilizers, which includes the pelvic floor muscles, and translating all these to moves that are functional. Yes, yes, and yes. One of my greatest pet peeves is going to the gym and watching somebody try and like push press 50-pound dumbbells with their back arched, and they're like, and they're holding and they're like turning red. It's like, dude, if you could learn how to fire and stabilize here, that would be way easier, and you could lift a lot more with a lot less effort and actually get strong. So I see those clients all the time. In fact, majority of the people that come in to see me, that come in to use the platforms, the whole body vibration platforms, is they've gone into a weight room, especially athletes, and they're doing powerlifting. They're doing power cleans, they're doing snatches, they're doing squats, bench press, lunges, all kinds of stuff. And they aren't doing it right, meaning they're not stabilizing and using the true power zone between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. And if you're not using that, and more importantly, if you're not using every muscle in the bottom of your foot and all of your toes to ground properly, equally pressurizing the whole surface of the bottom of your foot, that energy is not transferring through your channels properly, and you're having to create artificial energy when you can just use what the ground and what earth already has to offer you and work way less and gain way more. So majority of individuals who come in don't know how to breathe, and they're trying to get the big number on the wall because they're trying to impress somebody, or they're looking for a starting position, or they're wanting to hit further or throw harder, whatever the case may be. All they have to work on is truly understanding how to activate the power zone and how to incorporate that with the extremities of the arms, the legs, fingers, and toes. If you can learn how to activate the true core zone of the body, not just the abs, not just the pelvic floor, diaphragm, and back and hip stabilizers, if you can learn how to activate all that, which is all in understanding cueing and how to feel for it, then every little thing you add to it, whether it's a 5-pound medicine ball or a short resistance band or a squishy ball, just totally amplifies that exercise to the point that I've got athletes that come in who can combine lift 1,000 pounds between 3 lifts, and they can't do basics that I just showed you. That's when we have a lot of injuries and spinal problems from exerting too much energy through holding a breath in order to make it happen. We don't want anything to make it happen with any of you. We want you to understand the movements that we are doing with purpose so that you have endless possibilities in order to become anything you want to be, whether it's training for a triathlon, whether it's wanting to work on your feet longer every day without feeling more pain, whether it's sitting at your desk and being just truly dialed into the moment mentally and motivated to really conquer your day until you can go home and be with your family, crawl around on the floor with your grandkids or your babies, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. We are here to try and maximize your potential each and every single day. So I tell you what we're going to do. Since we've gone through all of this and you've been with me dialed in for a good hour and 15 minutes, we are going to schedule for a total body circuit workout with Amber next week. And I will make sure that we get in several days next week, because I truly, truly love teaching different workouts for so many different people. Again, I've catered to a lot of athletes, and I cater to a lot of individuals who are in pain. That's my niche, is instant pain relief. But the exercises that I give athletes and that we do with professional athletes are things that anybody can do. You just have to understand how to dial it back and how to activate from the inside out. And that's what I love teaching, is to truly get the best out of yourself with what you already got. So let's plan on next week, and I will have our scheduling crew put something together so that we can offer a circuit style workout a couple of days next week. And if you can't be here live to experience the circuit workout, then definitely make sure that you come back and look for it, because we're going to record and keep and post all of these. And like I said, on Facebook especially, and on YouTube, you can find me in a folder with just workouts with me. And if you're wanting workouts with Debbie or workouts with Roseanne, because we're all incredible and have a lot to offer you, it's an easy way to sort through the information so that you're not having to just hope that you come across the video in your search bar when you're looking through Facebook. And again, right now we're streaming live like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you're not on Facebook and you prefer YouTube, if you don't like YouTube, you prefer Facebook, or you like Instagram, wherever it is that you like to be, you'll find us a little bit of everywhere. So thank you all so much for giving me your feedback and sharing, because Again, we bounce off of your energy and we love to give you our energy, but we truly love giving back to all of you in a way that you're actually looking for it, as opposed to, really didn't enjoy that today. That kind of sucked. We want to make sure that you truly are enjoying the experience that Lifepro is offering you for free. And typically I charge for my clients, I charge 125 to 150 an hour to work with people. And I truly, truly love to be able to share everything that I have with all of you from the convenience of your home, so that you can go out and share it out with everybody else. Because greatness is not measured by what you have. It's experienced by what you give and share to others. And it's sharing your gifts and sharing your knowledge and sharing what you can do to help others. So thank you all so much for listening in, for sharing your thoughts, your feedback, and your opinions and your needs. And thank you for sharing us with everybody else in your communities, because that's what continues to spread the greatness forward. We look forward to seeing you next time. I will be back again tomorrow at 1 o'clock to teach another workout using an assortment, truly a workout. You'll see a workout tomorrow with the vibration platforms, and we'll be doing some recovery with the yoga wheels. And, we're going to bring it all together full circle. So, Lifepro is about cardio and strength and wellness and recovery and pain relief. And it's awesome to be part of all of it. So look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, don't forget to smile, because it relaxes your jaw muscles and eliminates stress. And don't forget to take care of yourself, because you got to take care of you before you can take care of others. So enjoy yourself, and just remember that you've got this and we've got you. Have a good day.